Yes, you are. Okay, everybody, welcome back. We're going to continue reading where we left off. Line 80. When nothing was save matter without soul, and a spiritless hollow was the heart of time, then life first touched the insensible abyss, awakening the stark void to hope and grief. Her pallid beam smote the unfathomable night, in which God hid himself from his own view. In all things she sought their slumbering mystic truths, the unspoken word that inspires unconscious forms. And my girly girl. Sweet puppy dog. Okay. She groped in his deeps for an invisible law, fumbled in the dim subconscious for his mind, and strove to find a way for spirit to be. I already read this, but whatever. Yeah, I think I did. I'm sorry. We left off at line 190. For terrible agencies the Spirit allows, and there are subtle and enormous powers that shield themselves with the covering ignorance, offspring of the gulfs, agents of the shadowy force, haters of light and intolerant of peace, aping to the thought, the shining friend and guide, opposing in the heart the eternal will. They veil the occult, uplifting harmonist. His wisdom's oracles are made our bonds. The doors of God have locked with keys of creed, and shut out by the law, his tireless grace. Along all nature's lines there have set their post, and intercept the caravans of light. Wherever the gods act, they intervene. A yoke is laid upon the world's dim heart. Masked are its beats from the supernal bliss, and they close peripheries of brilliant mind. Block the finite entries of the celestial fire. Always the dark adventurers seem to win. Nature they fill with evil's institutes, turn into defeats the victories of truth, proclaim as falsehoods the eternal laws, and load the dice of doom with wizard lies. The world's shrines they have occupied, usurped its thrones, in scorn of the dwindling chances of the gods. They claim creation as their conquered fief, and crown themselves the iron lords of time, adepts of the illusion and the mask. The artificers of nature's fall and pain have built their altars of triumphant night in the clay temple of terrestrial life, in the vacant precincts of the sacred fire, in front of the reredos in the mystic rite, facing the dim velamen none can pierce, intones his solemn hymn in mitred priest, invoking their dreadful presence in his breast, attributing to them the awful name. He chants the syllables of the magic text and summons the unseen communion's act. While twixt the incense and the muttered prayer, all the fierce bale with which the world is racked is mixed in the foaming chalice of a man's heart, and poured to them like sacramental wine. Assuming names divine they guide and rule. Opponents of the highest, they have come out of their world of soulless thought and power to serve the enmity, the cosmic scheme. Night is their refuge and strategic base. Against the sword of flame, the luminous eye, bastion, they live in massive forts of gloom. Calm and secure in sunless privacy, no wandering ray of heaven can enter there. Armored, protected by their lethal mask as a studio of creative death, the giant suns. Ooh, this is the first time I've seen SONS in the book. Interesting. Instead of SUNS. The giant sons of darkness sit and plan. All right, that's maybe why. It's like the first time they referred or talked about the Sons of Darkness. So it's spelled SONS, where up until this point it's been SUNS. Like all of us. The drama of the earth, the tragic stage, all who would raise the fallen world must come under the dangerous arches of their power. For even the radiant children of the gods, to darken their privilege is a dreadful right. None can reach heaven who has not passed through hell. Line 251. This too the traveler of the worlds must dare. A warrior in the dateless dual strife, he entered into dumb despairing night, challenging the darkness with his luminous soul, alarming with his steps the threshold gloom. He came into a fierce and dolorous realm, peopled by souls who never tasted bliss, ignorant like men born blind who know not light. They could equate worst ill with highest good. Virtue was to their eyes a face of sin, and evil and misery were their natural state. A dire administration's penal code, making of grief and pain the common law. Decreeing universal joyness had changed life into a stoic sacrament and torture into a daily festival. An act was passed to chastise happiness. Laughter and pleasure were banned as deadly sins. A questionless mind was ranked and wise content. A dual heart, silent apathy as peace. Sleep was not there. Torpor was the sole rest. Death came, but neither respite gave nor end. Even he deeper probed that kingdom of pain. Around him grew the terror of a world, of agony followed by worse agony, and in the terror a great wicked joy, glad of one's own and others' calamity. There, thought the life were a long punishment, the breath a burden and all hope a scourge, the body a field of torment, amassed unease. Repose was awaiting between pang and pang. This was the law of things none dreamed to change. A hard, somber heart, a harsh, unsmiling mind. Man, that sounds horrible. Rejected happiness like a cloying sweet. Tranquility was a tedium, and in you, only by suffering life grew colorful. It needed the spice of pain and salt of tears. If one could cease to be, all would be well. Else only fierce sensations gave some zest, a fury of jealousy burning the gnawed heart, the sting of murderous spite and hate and lust, whispers that lures to the pit and treachery's stroke, through vivid spots on the dull aching hours, to watch the drama of infelicity, the writhing of creatures under a harrow of doom, and sorrow's tragic gaze into the night, and horror of the hammering heart of fear, were the ingredients in time's heavy cup, that pleased and helped to enjoy its bitter taste. Of such fierce stuff was made up life's long hell. These were the treads of the dark spider's web, in which the soul was caught quivering and wrapped. This was religion, this was nature's rule in a fell chapel of iniquity. To worship a black, pitless image of power, kneeling one must cross hard-hearted stony courts, a pavement like a floor of evil fate. Each stone was a keen edge of ruthless force, and glued with the chilled blood from tortured breast. The dry gnarled trees stood up like dying men, stiffened into a pose of agony, and from each window peered an ominous priest, chanting Te Deums for slaughter's crowning grace. Uprooted cities, blasted human homes, burned writhen bodies, and bombshells massacre. 1 second for water break. Ooh, that's good. Remember, always bless your water with like healing, love, light, good health, the highest things. You could get detail with it. It works. Trust me. So if you haven't already hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button. Do it now. Serious. Do it. Whatever. I don't care. I'm having fun reading this book. I hope you're enjoying listening. Continue on. Page 229. Our enemies are fallen. Our enemies are fallen, they sang. All who once stayed our will are smitten and dead. How great we are. How merciful art thou. Thus thought they to reach God's impassive throne, and him command whom all their acts opposed, magnifying their deeds to touch his skies, and make him an accomplice of their crimes. There no relenting pity could have place, but ruthlessness, strength, and iron moods had sway, a dateless sovereignty of terror and gloom. This took the figure of a darkened god, revered by the racked wretchedness he had made, who held in thrall a miserable world, and helpless hearts nailed to unceasing woe, adored the feet that trampled them into mire. It was a world of sorrow and of hate, sorrow with hatred for its lonely joy, hatred with others' sorrow as its beast. A bitter rictus curled the suffering mouth, a tragic cruelty saw its ominous chance. Hate was the black archangel of that realm. It glowed, a somber jewel in the heart, burning the soul with its malignant rays, and wallowed in its fell abysmith of might. These passions even objects seemed to exude, from mind overflowed into the inanimate, that answered with the wickedness it received, against their users used malignant powers, hurt without hands and strangely suddenly slew, appointed as instrument of the unseen doom, or they made themselves a fateful prison wall, where men condemned wake through the creeping hours, counted by the toilings of an ominous bell. An evil environment, worsened evil souls, all things were conscious and all perverse. In this infernal realm he dared to press even into its deepest pit and darkest core. Perturbed, its tenebrous base dared to contest its ancient privileged right and absolute force. In night he plunged to know her dreadful heart. In hell he sought the root and cause of hell. Its anguish gulfs opened in his own breast. He listened to clamors of its crowded pain, the heartbeats of its fatal loneliness. Above was a chill, deaf eternity. In vague, tremendous passages of doom, he heard the goblin voice that guides to slay, and faced the enchantments of the demon's sign, and traversed the ambush of the opponent's snake, in menacing tracks and tortured solitudes. Companionless he roamed through desolate ways, where the red wolf waits by the formless stream, and death's black eagle screams to the precipice, and met the hounds of Baal who hunt men's hearts, baying across the velds of destiny. In footless battlefields of the abyss, fought shadowy combatants in mute, eyeless depths, assaults of hell endured and titan strokes, and bore the fierce inner wounds that are slow to heal, a prisoner of a hooded magic force, captured and trailed in falsehood's lethal net, and often strangled in the noose of grief, or a cast in the grim morass of swallowing doubt, or shut into pits of error and despair he drank her poisoned draughts till none was left. In a world where neither hope nor joy could come, the ordeal he suffered of evil absolute's reign, yet kept intact his spirit's radiant truth. Incapable of motion or of force, in matter's blank denial, gallowed and blind, pinned to the black inertia of our base, he treasured between his hands his flickering soul. His being ventured into mindless void, intolerant gulfs that knew not thought nor sense. Thought ceased, sense failed, his soul still saw and knew, in atomic parcelings of the infinite near to the dumb beginnings of lost self. He felt the curious small futility of the creation of material things, or sifted in the inconscient hollow dusk. He sounded the mystery dark and bottomless of the enormous and unmeaning deeps, whence struggling life in a dead universe rose. There in the stark identity lost by mind, he felt the sealed sense of the insensible world and a mute wisdom in the unknowing night. Into the abysmal secrecy he came, where darkness peers from her mattress gray and nude, and stood on the last locked subconscious floor, where being slept unconscious of its thoughts and built the world not knowing what it built. There, waiting its hour, the future lay unknown. There is the record of the vanished stars. There, in the slumber of the cosmic will, he saw the secret key of nature's change. A light was with him, an invisible hand was laid upon the error and the pain, till it became a quivering ecstasy, the shock of sweetness of an arm's embrace. He saw in night the eternal shadowy veil, knew death for a cellar of the house of life, and destruction felt creation's hasty pace, knew loss as the price of celestial gain, and hell as a shortcut to heaven's gates. Then in illusion's occult factory, and in the inconscience magic printing house, torn were the formats of the primal night, and shattered the stereotypes of ignorance, alive, breathing a deep spiritual breath. Native expunged her stiff mechanical code, and the articles of her bound soul's contract. Falsehood gave back to truth her tortured shape. Annulled were the tables of the law of pain, and in their place grew luminous characters. The skillful penman's unseen finger wrote his swift intuitive calligraphy. Earth's forms were made his divine documents. The wisdom-embodied mind could not reveal, unconscious, chased from the world's voiceless breast, transfigured were the fixed schemes of the reasoning thought. Arousing consciousness in inert things, he imposed upon dark atom and dumb mass the diamond script of the imperishable, inscribed on the dim heart of fallen things a paean song of the free infinite, and the name, foundation of eternity, and traced on the awake exultant cells. In the ideography of the ineffable, the lyric and the love that waits through time, and the mystic volume of the Book of Bliss, and the message of the superconscient fire, and the life beat pure in the corporeal frame. The infernal gleam died and could slay no more. Hell split across its huge abrupt facade as if a magic building were undone. Night opened and vanished like a gulf of a dream. Into being's gap scooped out an empty space in which she had filled the place of absent God. Then poured a wide and intimate and blissful dawn. Healed were all things that time's torn heart had made, and sorrow could live no more in nature's breast. Division ceased to be, for God was there. The soul lit the conscious body with its ray. Matter and spirit mingled and were one. Period. End of Canto 8. I'm doing infinity, but put that up and it's an 8. Anyways, thank y'all for joining me. Let me talk at y'all or read at y'all. Next up will be Canto 9, titled The Paradise of the Life Gods. Man, is this getting good. I wanted to wait till I moved to Oregon to start reading this and start a YouTube channel, but I couldn't wait that long. I'm not moving until evidently the 1st, so I had to start on my birthday, and I'm already about halfway through. Man, this is so exciting. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think. This is my first time reading or doing anything like this, public, so let me know if I can talk a little slower, louder, softer. I probably won't change the way I'm reading, but, leave your comments anyways. I love you all. I want to say, sending healing, love, and light to all. We are all one. Every last one of us. Every rock, stick, tree, bird, dog, person, not person, everything. And we're all gods and goddesses in the flesh. Remember that. Believe that. And live that. Be the change you want to see in the world today. I'll be back soon to read some more. Have a blessed day.